ever wanted to get stuck in a cave, starve, and be forced to cook nasty plants, rocks, and chunks of monsters you killed to survive? Oh boy then, I have the game for you! Monster Menu: The Scavenger's Cookbook is an upcoming roguelike and cooking sim for Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PS5, releasing May 23rd. I got my copy for the Switch and have been enjoying diving into this personal little circle of hell. In a lot of ways, it reminds me of the anime Made in Abyss, which, as you may know from my coverage of it, also recently had a game released. In Monster Menu, you explore a brutal cave structure, collect items for survival, and fight enemies along the way as you attempt to bolster your team, up until their inevitable demise. And you'll do it all over again. Just like Made in Abyss, or most of these types of games, you need to explore deeper and deeper, which involves monsters getting tougher and tougher as you progress. There's a level up system which helps your characters pack more of a punch, but once you die, it's back to level 1. I've seen several people complain about the game demo, but in my opinion, it's very par for the course. The real focus of character progression is the items you collect and the skills you gain from progression, which you keep as you explore. I'll be direct and say this: if you don't like roguelikes, you're probably not going to like this one. But if you do, I think you're in for a treat. Performance of the game is absolutely stellar on the Switch. Don't expect to see massive open worlds and wild graphics here, but at the same time, don't expect to be crying in a corner over how terrible everything looks. The game is 3D and has the oh-so-to-be-expected visual styles you see from many games published by NIS America. You get kinda itchy women characters, vibrant colors, scowling men, and overly optimistic characters to choose from here. Monsters range from standard evil plants, bats, and creature combinations you might not expect to see. You get 4 characters in your party made up of classes of your choosing, all with their own unique skills as you'd expect. There's the typical fighters, archers, rogues, magical casters, but also other options like the chef, who is worthless in battle outside of healing, but highly beneficial at cooking. Shocking. I thought the character customization was a ton of fun. You get to pick gender styles, which you can mix and match to your liking with various color palettes ranging from the dark and drab to the JoJo-esque loud and bright. Once you configure your characters, you also get to pick their pose and framing for the different portraits. I'm probably hyping this too much, but I found it fun to not only craft a character, but also give them a certain flair of personality. For fun on my review playthrough, I named all my partners after a few of the channel's regular viewers and shaped them in a way I thought fit their personality. I couldn't beat the game during my review period, but made it through the first section of the dungeon, onto the second, on the little baby reviewer easy difficulty mode. Yeah, that's right, I did that. There's multiple difficulty modes, from the one I played to the much harder and challenging modes like Nightmare. As always, my opinion is that anyone should play a game how they want to, and difficulty options are always appreciated by me. The game starts off super basic with one character. The game introduces itself softly as you explore a little cave, and after the first whittle baby steps, you get to build your full party and get to cooking and exploring. If you've ever played a roguelike before, you'll be instantly familiar with this one. Your objective is to do as best as you can before you die. You resurrect with some losses, and then jump back into the fray to see how much farther you'll get the next time. Like all good roguelikes, the game has a few unique features and surprises along the way to keep you interested in what's going on. This is a great time to mention the story does exist in this one, despite what people online who played the demo may say. The catch is, though, that the story here can actually be missed. You'd expect to see cutscenes or visual novel-like moments where the characters talk to one another about the experience, but you don't find that in this one. Instead, as you explore, defeat creatures, and open chests, you'll at times collect journal entry pages which can be viewed from the inventory. Snap reaction would be rage, as how could they hide the story in this game? But I think a defense, if you accept it, is that a lot of the core players in these games prefer to spend most of their time grinding and farming, as the repetitive nature of these games can be soothing to some, a fine ASMR reading. Unlike most of these games I've played recently, this one has turn-based tactical RPG combat as opposed to the typical first-person dungeon crawling or top-down action RPG battles. I personally found it to be pretty fun gearing my characters out, upgrading their equipment, and fine-tuning their placement in battles. Most of the battles went pretty quick, but As common for the genre, you'll encounter random trap floors where you'll be shocked by an insane amount of NPCs, or random typical enemies will blow your mind with how they're actually heavily stat boosted, like a surprised ripped Diglett. While the beginning of the game feels like an endless run in a standard cave, you'll be excited to know that again, like all good roguelikes, this game features layers, which greatly differ from the dark, brown, boring cave you start in. After passing a certain level and defeating a big boy boss, you'll transition out of the brown zone. The new areas also feature new enemies, vastly different from the initial set. So what I'm saying is that if at the beginning of the game it seems boring, just give it a bit of time, you dang kids. Before we wrap up, there's a few other features I need to mention, one of these being these little shrines which offer boosts or boon boosts to your party. Every new shrine you interact with will give you 3 choices for a boost or a boon boost, being something that both harms and boosts your characters. They all cost a certain amount of special currency, which you gain from chests or primarily winning monster battles. You can actually buy as many as you can afford, but each time you buy from a choice, that category raises in price to basically a point you can't afford until you explore deeper and earn more from tougher battles. It's definitely a good reason to stick around on a certain floor before moving forward, even if you found the exit, as you can use them to powerhouse your characters before the tougher challenges come your way. Now, I know I just said hang out and grind before running down to the next level, but there's something important to mention, and that is there is a day and night mechanic. Besides trying to manage the tiredness of your characters, resting between floors also allows you to sleep the night away. Depending on your situation and difficulty level, skipping night might be the choice for you, as in many games, night brings about the best of the monster world and threatens your run, as once it's night, you'll likely experience a rerun of Rick and Morty as you get riggedy wrecked, son! Though if your team is built like the Liver King, you might actually want to take advantage of the early extra XP gains from these battles. The choice is yours.
You chose poorly.
Final score for this game is schmiggity out of oofus. I've never scored games and I won't start now. It's a lot of fun if you're a fan of tactical RPG roguelikes, and if you have any love for other NIS America titles, you'll love this even more. If you hate roguelikes, well, then I thank you for watching this entire video for no reason at all. I'm proud to not have helped you whatsoever. Smash the like button like it's a critical in Earthbound if you enjoyed this or just want to make me feel better about my metrics, or hit the thumbs down because it makes you feel better and still helps me out in the algorithm. Subscribe to Yokoso Otaku to see more game reviews, live streams, anime stuff, otaku thoughts, and the words epic, waifu, or epic waifu on about 50% of all the thumbnails.